welcome. Paul Graves here. Thank you for joining me. This video is really an update video for anyone who would like to hear stories from my time 6 months abroad with Youth with a Mission during my Discipleship Training School. So if you're not familiar, there is a 3-month lecture phase and then there's a 3-month outreach phase, and I'm mostly sharing stories from the outreach phase. So that's just where I spent time in Haiti, Dominican Republic, Key West, Florida, and then flew back to Kona, Hawaii after that to finish out my time. So, story number 1. I was in Haiti. Okay, this is where the setting is taking place. And there was a time when we were trying to bless people in a local neighborhood right near the Cap Haitian YWAM base in Haiti. And so we're doing stuff like picking up trash. Because they don't pick up trash there, they don't have a trash service like we do in the United States. And so we're just trying to bless the community and love on them. Sometimes we're giving people food, stuff like that, praying for people, just becoming friends with them. And so we befriended this man under this large tree, and this man told us that he can't work because his legs are inflamed, so he can't really walk or anything like that. And it's not like the United States where you can just work a call center service job from home or something. Third world countries, so it's just a totally different place. And so we're praying for healing for this man, and really just empathizing with him. And then this, probably around 8 years old, this boy grabs us by the hand and asks us to come see his brother and pray over him too. And so by the faith of this 8-year-old boy, we're going to visit his family, much like Jesus when he was invited by people to go from place to place to place. And much like the lame man whose friends lowered him through the roof to Jesus, that's like this boy's faith right now. And so we're excited. We're like ready to go. So we walk into this family's backyard, and it's all mud. That's what much of Haiti is like, lots of dirt and mud. This boy's brother is 16 years old, and this boy is hunched over, and pardon the graphic, I'm going to explain this clearly what the situation was like, but it's a little bit graphic, so if you have a sensitive mind or something, feel free to skip ahead a little bit. But basically, this boy was hunched over, and he had drool coming out of his mouth. He probably had 30 to 60 flies just barraging his body. You know how flies are, so annoying. But this boy's laying there, and I even see like a maggot on his feet. And he's just dirty. He's a mess. He's naked. And it was so heartbreaking to see that. So heartbreaking. And God put so much compassion in my heart for this boy. So we were contending hard for that family. We were praying for this boy. We were loving on their sons. I think they had 10 sons total. I don't think this family had any daughters, just 10 sons. So we were loving on some of them. But we prayed hard for this boy. We even picked him up and attempted to help him walk. And, we were able to see that he can like kind of slightly move one leg or something. But it's like he has no strength. And my team of 9 people, we had a lot of prophetic words, and we had believed that God would move powerfully through our team, that we would see miraculous things, and that we would see bondage and chains fall, and people set free from voodoo and stuff like that, because it's very common for people to practice voodoo and the Christian faith. So we were a little bit disappointed not to see the boy healed. I definitely trusted the Lord, but I was a little disappointed not to see him healed because I wanted a different life for this boy. And I believe God does too. I believe it's within God's will to see this boy restored. And so it was really hard. It was really hard seeing this boy that way. So fast forward, and we're in the Dominican Republic. We've already spent 7 weeks in Haiti, 10 days in Key West. Then we're going to spend another 16 days in the Dominican Republic. So we're helping with a crusade in the Dominican Republic run by some Americans, and they invite people up for an altar call and for prayer, for healing, for whatever people need. People come up, and I prayed for a lot of people throughout that week. And on the last day of the crusade, I had seen some pretty crazy stuff, but up to this point, I hadn't seen any prayers answered miraculously. But I had been exercising my authority as a son of God. I had been exercising my faith as a son of God, despite not seeing my prayers technically answered on the spot. And so there was a time on the last day where I prayed for this little boy, and he was probably around 6 to 8 years old. His mom was holding him. She was sobbing, and me and this other guy were praying for him. And we contended hard. We probably prayed for 10 minutes or so. And at one point, the guy next to me kind of held him by the shoulders or the armpits or whatever, and his legs were totally limp. So this boy probably had cerebral palsy or something. He had a really bad rash on his head as well. And it was just not, it just gave you a lot of empathy and zeal and passion to see this boy set free. So he was largely unresponsive, but we kept praying. We kept praying and believing, and something was unlocked in the spirit realm. Something was unlocked in the earthly realm in that moment. And I have my eyes closed, and this boy, basically I hear the guy next to me praying, and the mother, both of them scream. They start screaming, and my eyes are still closed. So I open them, and I see the boy who's being held by my friend who's praying. He's being held by the armpits, and the boy has put his weight on his legs. And that's never happened for this child. Never. And he's like 6 or 8 years old. He was born this way. And so, wow, what a crazy situation. This woman was sobbing. She was like laying on the ground. She couldn't believe her eyes. And the boy still had some issues, so we continued praying. Other people joined in. You know, he still had like symptoms of cerebral palsy or maybe Down syndrome, or just not really being able to interact. So we kept praying, and wow, it was quite the experience. But what a contrast to what I experienced in Haiti. Because my team got so many words that we would see healing, that we should exercise our faith full throttle, stuff like that. And we did. As a whole, as a team, we exercised our faith. And I think God was teaching something to me in that moment. He was teaching me something, and he was showing me like, wow, Paul, you did great. Paul, you were obedient to pray. You were obedient, but your obedience does not guarantee results. It doesn't. It's a lot more likely to see results, but my obedience does not guarantee results. And so I prayed for that boy who was paralyzed, who's 16, and did not necessarily see the full fruit of his healing. I saw something happen, but not a whole lot. But on the other hand, the other boy I prayed for stood on his legs. And man, I think God taught me a really valuable lesson, and I think something that you can walk away with as well. And the lesson is that obedience is more important than expectation. Obedience is more important than expectation, because I can put these expectations on God, on how he should answer my prayer and what I think would be best. And you know what? I might have some really good ideas about what would be best for this child. And I think it sounds like a pretty dang good idea for this boy to be able to walk. But you know what? I still exercised my faith. I was still obedient to do what God told me to do. And I need to be able to rest in that, in obedience, in being content with choosing obedience, because ultimately, obedience is one of the most powerful things that I can do as a son of God. When I choose obedience in this lifetime, things are unlocked in my life and in other people's lives. When I chose obedience to go to Youth with a Mission, the Discipleship Training School, things were unlocked for my life. I went to a new place with my character. I was refined even more. I was discipled constantly for 6 months and grew immensely. But it's all because of obedience. It's obedience. But the obedience does not necessitate results. And so, man, that was just a really powerful lesson for me. Something that I will continue to walk with. Just understanding that simple obedience is more important and more valuable than results. Those were some experiences that really impacted me. There's definitely more stories I would love to share. If anyone would like to Zoom or FaceTime, or I would love to talk with some of you who I don't know that well. Some of you who've supported me, who know my parents. I would love to talk with you and get to know you. And then others who I already know, I would love to catch up with you and just share stories and hear what's going on in your life. And clearly Corona is impacting all of us. But we can still choose community in the midst of Corona, because we have access to access to the World Wide Web. So we have worldwide access to each other. So God has given me a heart for the nations, and through this experience, he has only reinforced my heart for the nations. So I just want to say thank you to all of you who supported me, who encouraged me, who prayed for me, who financially supported. All of that support means so much to me. It means so much to me that you all believe in me, that you believe that God has a calling on my life. And I'm just excited for what the future holds. I will have an update video soon, probably with a fundraiser, because I believe that I will be moving forward with Youth with a Missions, becoming a full-time missionary. So would love to tell you guys more about that, to share more stories, answer any of your questions. I will have my information down below, my Facebook, Instagram, email, stuff like that, if you would like to contact me. I'm just an open book, guys, if you guys would like to schedule some times to just hang out. God bless you guys. Thank you for watching this video. You're amazing. God is amazing. He's the best. Thanks for tuning in.